Guys,
Hello.
it's Monday. We've just done our sprint planning for the week. What's happening?
Comics. You're working on comics.
Comic books, yes, I'm making comic books.
Yeah.
More to see later.
We've got WooLoop coming out this week as well. That's coming out on Friday, so me and Lee will be working on that, mainly Lee, of course. A little bit of controller work on WooLoop as well, so hopefully we'll have some support for controllers going forward. And then a bit of colouring voxels, bug fixing, I think, right? Because the performance is terrible, and we're getting lots of bad reviews about it, and I need to look at it, so.
Today I have been working a lot on colouring voxels. Basically, Lee was noticing a lot of performance issues with the game last week, so I think it's time we sort of start to address them. There's a lot of big things that we can't really do without weeks and weeks of work, but just to streamline the work that we've got, I think I made quite a few improvements. So you can see here when we're profiling, we're hitting about 60 FPS on my machine, and this is an editor as well, so it does tend to run a little bit slower in editor, so that's really good. Green being the graphics card load, and the blue being the CPU, which is usually the bottleneck that causes hitching. There was one issue just here in this script where essentially every frame the 3D UI was scanning to sort of get the bounds of everything. That could be reduced, but one of the things that I didn't realize was I was just using the command get component here instead of try get components, just to see if one of the objects had a particle system. I think this is to address some of the things when we've got particle effects for like UI elements, when it's snowy and things like that, there's like particle effects on the UI and things like that. So this is just to sort of exclude them, but I didn't realize that just get component in itself, when it doesn't actually find a component, it logs an error, like an actual, like with a string, and that's super slow, and it essentially causes a bunch of memory to be allocated, and then the hitching that we were getting last week was that memory being cleaned up periodically. So every couple of seconds or so, the entire game would lock up, and yeah, it wasn't all to do with this, but largely it was to do with this. So I just swapped it for try get component, and this doesn't do that little error check, and yeah, everything seems to be working. I've also managed to reduce the FPS, like the frame load. I've increased the FPS by reducing the time each frame takes. That's what I'm trying to say. So earlier today, the graph was a bit higher. So you can see that the CPU load was a lot higher. The graphics load is about the same, but you can see that it was at times peaking into less than 30 FPS, whereas now we're barely even touching 60 FPS. So quite a lot of improvements there. I'm just going to try and get a build done, and fingers crossed that should be good. There's also a couple of other things that we could do. So we're on quite an early version of Unity here. There's a bunch of packages that could be updated as well, so I'm going to go ahead and do that.
Okay, so I've had a lot of fun today working on the comic book DLC for Colouring Pixels coming out real soon. And, oh, my voice keeps breaking. I apologize for the voice, I'm a little bit ill.
Hey, are you sick?
But yeah, it's coming along really well. I'm on panel 6 now. Hasn't really taken too long. It's been quite easy so far, thankfully, considering I've already made the storyboards for the DLC, so I sort of know what the images are going to look like and how the layout's going to work. The hardest part was figuring out the style, and I'm really happy with the style that we've sort of went with, which is sort of like a manga-esque look. I chose black and white because when you apply colour to this sort of style, it sort of just looks like generic, normal-looking pixel art, whereas this sort of keeps that manga-esque style. So yeah, it's going pretty well so far. Really happy with these boards so far. This one's a new one. What's the problem one? Because I want the sort of like code reflective in the eyes. And we're going with a bit of a Sin City-esque look where it'll mostly be black and white, but there'll be hints of colours here and there to sort of just bring out the most important parts. So yeah, I'm going to continue working on this on panel 6 now. We'll see how far we can get.
Okay, not much to report today. Most of the day's been stuck in build hell again, but this time with WooLoop. So we had a bug because we've updated Unity version up here. I think we did this for to prep for Xbox stuff, because we need a new version for Xbox and Nintendo. So that's why we've done that. But with that update, basically whenever we did a build, the game crashed. So that's not good. It turned out to be something wrong with the packages that we were using for Steam. So I managed to get that working. It took a lot of time though. I wonder if I could just show Discord quickly. Yeah, you can see all of these messages are just various build attempts that have been happening all day. and then I finally got it working. But yeah, I have managed to do a little bit of programming today, which is quite nice. So we sort of chatted as a team earlier in the week, and we decided that we aren't going to ship the full controller compatibility with this update for Friday, just in case something goes wrong mainly, but we are going to ship it with the main menu functionality that we've got working. So I've just been basically trying to tighten that up as best I can, and then adding things like you can now press to enter a level and then press start to go back. That's the only thing you can do while you're in a level, and that works fine. So yeah, just trying to get things a bit polished up, and yeah, good to ship. I've been 3D printing to hopefully make some more merch for us. It's one of the things that we want to do this year. The idea is that we've got more merch to sell, then we can offset going to things like conventions and stuff like that. So this is a Colouring Pixels level. It's a little board of puzzles, just all 3D printed. Lee's got a kit to do himself. We've got a black board and like a grey one. I think you're doing it on the grey one, aren't you? Yeah. Yeah. Basically, it's just a bunch of these little pegs, and they all go in like that, and then they'll lock in. It's quite solid and stuff. And then there's a key. A key's quite hard to see, but you can see the letters in the inside, telling you where to put things. Then the idea is that we'll put the different colours in different bags, and things like that, to make it as easy as possible to do. But yeah, have fun, Lee. Have fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, the past 2 days have been spent fully doing more WooLoop levels, trying to get the Mythology DLC, so that we had Mythology DLC ready for release on Friday. So it is cutting a little bit close, but we're almost there, so I'm not worried about not hitting the mark. But yeah, this is, as you can see, a Phoenix level. We're sort of branching out into mythological creatures as well as sort of stories and events. And yeah, that is the second last level done now. We need to get a screenshot to put in here, but yeah, I think I showed some of these off last week, but yeah, this one is a large level, but the effect is quite nice. Sort of an indigenous mythology about a horned serpent that lives in the Great Lakes. We have Orion. The reference image used, he had a spear, so after doing a bit of googling, realised the spear is incorrect for Orion. It's often seen with a club, sometimes a sword, so change it to a club as well. Story of Androcles and the Lion, and then yeah, some smaller ones. Got Mount Olympus, and we have Robin Hood's hat. And yeah, Rob did pick up a couple as well. I'm not sure if I showed them off, so I do need to play test those two as well in time for release. But yeah, it's looking quite good. Phoenix is now finished, so now there's just the last level, which I've decided is going to be Bifrost, and then that'll be the DLC ready to go out on Friday. I also finished up this Anubis level as well, which I'm not sure if I showed off, but that's the end result. I think it looks quite nice. So yeah, game all today has been WooLoop. Finished up the last of the levels. The final one was, which one was it? It was the Bifrost, using the achievement icon to show it off. I'm quite happy with it, mainly because it adds some nice vibrant colour, which seems to be missing from this book overall, which I think is just unavoidable for the most part with the theme. But yeah, a bit of a sidetrack. I mean, as you can see, started the achievements, but sidetracked because we got back from the Steam page for a comic pack, and it's been failed. And it's for a reason which I sort of totally forgot about because I haven't done it in a while, or haven't come across this issue in a while. And it's because there's additional text on the picture that isn't the actual name, which is obviously the text of the comic. So I'm just going to quickly edit this. I think it'll be as simple as just making this box empty and making it white, and then re-uploading it. But yeah, quickly get that done just so the turnaround can start again. At least the timer for the turnaround can start again and get that out on time for next week. Just wrapping up the rest of the WooLoop DLC stuff. So you can see that this is the announcement post for the DLC going live tonight. And that's all the announcements done. I had a list of tasks over here on my notebook. I think I've managed to get all of them there. And yeah, there's a lot of like localizing and stuff like that. Localize the achievements as well, because that was the left off from yesterday. I have to play half this out. But yeah, that's all localized, all uploaded, and all good to go. And yeah, if you looked on my notebook, they saw sort of finished my list of tasks, so I'm trying to find what's left to do now. So I think I'm going to head over to Patreon, have a look at what's winning the poll, and just start prepping some DLC levels for that, just to get a bit ahead of the curve this time.
You can see bold reflection in that. Lee, it's Friday.
Friday.
Jack's off sick.
Yeah, he's not well. Hopefully better next week. We'll find out next vlog. But yeah, come to the end of the week, we have the Mythology DLC coming out. That'll be out for you guys already by a week, so make sure you check that out if you haven't already. But next month we have some exciting DLC coming out. Jack is working on the comic DLC, Colouring Pixels, which is the first of its kind. Hopefully quite good. We also have a museum DLC for voxels as well coming out next month, sorry. And then upcoming another WooLoop DLC, that's undecided, and that'll be for another month. So stay tuned to find out what's coming next. But thanks for everyone who watched the video. We'll have another stream this week, so thanks if you stopped by for that. And thanks to our community, our Discord and our Patreon members.